Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So I feel compelled to come on here today to tell you all about the first miracle that ever happened to me. I'm probably gonna tell you all the first two, but yeah, so that's what we're doing today. So the first miracle that ever happened to me, I was about 6 years old, and I always used to travel to Mississippi with my grandmother and my brother and my cousin. So this particular time, though, I only went with my grandmother. So it's just me and my grandma, and we were going by ourselves. And I remember at this time because I had a square pillow similar to this one, but it was Blue's Clues, and I was off. It was just me and my grandma. I was off to see the wizard, off to see God. And so we went to Mississippi just as we always do. Now, again, I've been on this trip enough times, even at 6, to know kind of the highways. Like, all I've ever had to do was sit in the back seat and look and watch and read and learn. So at this point, I know like little markers on the side of the road and all types of stuff. So now it's just me and my grandma. I'm just talking to my grandma, and I was telling her, like, you remember this big cross? It's a huge cross it's in about Illinois, and at the time I stayed in Wisconsin. So I believe the cross is in Illinois. And so it's a huge white cross. And so it's always super significant to me. Every time we would pass it, it would stand out. So I was telling my grandma, like, you remember the cross? Did we pass the cross? Because I believe at that point I had been to sleep. And so I woke up and I asked her, and she's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. But nevertheless, we continue on our way to Mississippi. We stop at a gas station. At the gas station, we fill up on gas and proceed to get back on the road. As we're about to get back on the road, I don't know what happens, y'all. I don't know what happens, but we are like speeding out from, the highway has 2 lanes. One lane goes this way, one lane goes that way. When you're on a really long highway, it's just and it's 2 lanes on this side, 2 lanes on that side, going this way, one going that way, and then in the middle is just a bunch of grass. And so we pulled out of the parking lot, and somehow, some way, I don't know what gear got hit or miss hit, but we start flying across the intersection. Like, we're just spinning. I don't know how this happens. I don't know what happens. I really honestly to this day believe that God was just trying to show me that he is still alive and he is God. So we're spinning, and so neither one of us are screaming. I'm just looking at her and she just looking at me. And so as we're spinning, we go into the middle. We go from the one side that's going the way we were going, which was back this way, and then we spin to the middle of the grass to the other side of the highway onto oncoming traffic coming this way. And I can see through the window as we're spinning, because mind you, it's only like a split second that you can see if your head is just, if you're just going in circles. So the split second that I'm able to look out the window, I see semis, cars. I'm like, Lord. Even as a child, I was, we went to church. I already knew. So, Lord, if this is how this is going to end, like, wow, nobody knows. We just out here. But in that split second, and I'm just like, Lord, this is how it ends. And I didn't say anything out loud, verbally. I see a man standing in the middle of the road. I see a man standing in the middle of the highway, and I can see the semi trucks and the cars coming to a complete stop. We land on the other side of the highway. kind of in a ditch. But we land on the other side. Like half of our car is still on the road. The other half is, sunken on the other side of the grass, on the other side of the highway. Next thing you know, there's a woman at the window, and she's like, oh my gosh, are y'all okay? What happened? We don't know. We really honestly couldn't tell you what happened. But nothing was, the car wasn't messed up. We didn't get hit by nobody. And the cars literally stopped when there was a woman by the window. This was after we done already landed. The cars done stopped. So there's a woman who jumped out of the car and came. Now, mind you, it was a woman who came. So who was standing in the middle of the road? Who was standing in the middle of the road? God will send his angels concerning you. God will send his angels concerning you. Not my anointed. Not my anointed. Not my anointed. In the middle of the road. So I'm like, wow, that was my first interaction after hearing all these great big stories. Everybody's, as a child, my grandparents used to read the Bible to me and all that type of stuff. So I've already heard all the miracles, but I didn't know until that point that they really still happened, because who was the man standing in the middle of the road? So that was my first miracle. That was at 6 or 5. 6 or 5. I clearly remember. So yeah, but I still like Blue's Clues. So so that was the first miracle. Now I'm just gonna jump into the second one because I can fit it in. The second miracle that ever happened to me, I was about 7. 6 or 7. This is when I realized that, I might be a little, I might have a little, extra gifts, sprinkled by the Lord. But I wanted to go somewhere with my best friend. I was about 7 at this point. I wanted to go somewhere with my best friend at the time, and it was at night. And if you know me, I'm a night person. I'm always up at night. And so even as a child, I really, I want to go at night. Now, as an adult, I fully realize that I get it. It's dangerous. You really shouldn't be out there, but I'm a night person. And so wherever my friend was inviting me to, she was inviting me at night, and she's like, my mom, she'll come get you, So I'm like, great, this works for me, because my mama don't have to do anything but say yes. So I asked my mom's like, yes, but I have to talk to her mom, obviously. And so I'm waiting all day. And I think this must have been, after a Friday night, like probably like a Saturday night. Like I'm just in the house floor. And so I'm waiting all day. I tried to fill my time with other stuff, but she said her mom was going to call, and I just have to wait for the call. So I waited and I waited. And it was about 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And I'm just like, if I don't get out the house, and it's crazy that I say this, because now that I realize it, like I was like this at 7. So by the time I got 14 and 15, I knew what to do. But if I don't get out the house in enough time, early enough, I'm not leaving. I'm not going nowhere. I know my mother, she's not gonna let me go. So if I don't get out the house now. So I remember just thinking, pacing the floor, I don't know what to do. And I had a mirror, kind of like above, it was just hanging on the wall. But I was short. I'm still short. And so I got on my bed, and I was just looking at myself. I was leaning on, I had these long poles on my bed. And so I was just like leaning on the pole, looking at myself in the mirror. And I, all of a sudden, just got the notion, like, pray, like, pray and ask God to do it. It's like, okay. So I prayed. And I'm like, God, I just want to leave. And I just need you to make her call. Like, I just need you to make her call. I'm telling you, within the next 5 minutes. Within the next 5 minutes, I heard. And now I stayed upstairs. Like, my room was upstairs. I heard the phone ring. I'm like, I just knew in my spirit. I just knew in my spirit that was my friend's mom. Like, I just knew my mother would be calling me any second now, any moment now, any minute now. And true indeed, she did. And it was her, and I was on my way out the house at night. And I was on my way out the house at night. And, to have really strict parents, that's a big deal. Like, my mama, she wasn't playing. She wasn't having it. So, the fact that I was able to get out, it was it literally was a miracle. And so, and I know the second situation is not as serious as the first one, but it just shows how God will answer you. As a 6-year-old, 4 to 6, however old I was, I didn't even have the, wherewithal within my mind to pray. Like, we're spinning out of control, pray. All I had, but I did have the knowledge to just say, Jesus, please. Jesus, please. Sometimes you just have to say, have mercy, have mercy. I couldn't even get the have mercy out. Sometimes all you can say is Jesus. Acknowledge God. Acknowledge God. Acknowledge God as more powerful than the situation, stronger than the situation. Acknowledge him in all of your ways, and watch how fast. Now, I've been in a lot more situations that referring to a car anyway, that you just have to call on Jesus and get immediate help. The Lord will really send his angels concerning you. I don't be doing nothing, just trying to drive down the street, but Jesus, have mercy. Jesus will tighten up tires, get it back on the road, straighten it out. Like, so that's not the only miracle that's happened in the car. But it's just to show the range of God and how God is consistent. If you call on him, he will come. He is consistent. And at that time, he was just showing me who he was. He was just showing me, if you call me, I'm coming. He showed me as a child. He showed me as a child, the magnitude of his power. And so that is just like 2 story times of miracles that have happened to me. And if you all liked it, I will definitely be posting more, just miracles, because that's what this page is about. And I pray that miracles fall on you as they have fallen on me. So have a great day.